So, one of the pitfalls of shooting a weekly update show like this is that, especially when you're a one-person operation, is that you can be subject to things coming at you a little bit sideways. And on Sunday, I managed to mangle my hand, and so I ended up making a trip into the emergency and having a rather stubborn piece of wood removed from the back of my finger. As it was, they ended up putting a nerve blocker in, and so hand was all swollen up. I couldn't do very much with it. So I ended up not being able to work on Monday and Tuesday. So we are going to be quite a bit behind this week. As it is, we are going to be continuing to work on the forge project here. What I've got to do is take this old brake rotor and convert it into a base for our forge casing here, so that I can mount this onto a pedestal that will be sitting outside on the forge. Anyway, that's where we're sitting right now. I've got to take this. I'm going to take the forge completely apart, figure out where my mounting points are going to be on here. I'm going to drill out the mounting points, get this rotor all cleaned up and prepped. And then what I'm going to be doing is taking a chunk of pipe, stand pipe, and I'm going to be cutting it probably about 4 to 5 inches long and welding that directly onto the rotor. And that will be the piece that will fit into the stand, which will be the last thing we put together. Okay, so that's where we're sitting right now. Let's get to her. We'll see you guys on the other side. We're just checking our level now, make sure that we've got our spots right for this. So we'll just throw the level on here. Make sure we're good. Yep. All right then, so now what we're gonna do is just transfer these holes through into the casing, and then we can just bolt this plate on here. And then the next step will be to find our chunk of pipe that we need for here, get that cut, shaped, and weld it on. All right then, on to the next. So that went together pretty nicely. Mounted on. We chopped off our excess threaded rod, cleaned that up a little bit. Now what's left to do on this is to get our insulating blanket in, ceramic liner, get that all into place, get these voids filled up. So we're going to be going about 2 inches thick all the way around. Same thing on the door, is filling all this void space up, making sure it's nice and clean. Now we'll probably end up chopping a couple of pieces of brick to go around our doors, just to give it a little bit more durability when we're working our way in and out. So that's where we're sitting at the moment. Pretty happy with the setup so far. Still have to cut our pipe to go onto the bottom of our base so that we can mount that onto our pedestal outside. All right, moving along. Still a couple of days to go before the end of the week. Pretty happy with progress. See you on the other side. Yesterday we managed to get our plate done for our base. We got that all connected, and we decided to do a total assembly. So we're putting on our burners. Still have our preliminary plumbing on, so that's going to be streamlined a bit. But this gives us an opportunity to take a look at our configuration and how it's all going to sit once we're all done here. So today what I've got to do is I've got a big chunk of pipe outside. I'm going to have to cut a chunk off of it, weld it onto our base plate, and then take a look and see how that's going to fit on our pedestal. So that's pretty much our plan for today. So right now what I'm going to do is take apart our pre-assembly here. There's another thing I'm looking at, which is on the burner side here. I've decided that I'm going to mount a plate on the two inlets here that our burner plate, the spacing plate that we have here, I'm going to have that set up so I can bolt that onto it. That'll help with my alignment. So I'm looking at adding that piece in. So all in all though, very stable. Pretty happy with it. Now it's just a matter of making sure that the whole thing is going to mount properly on the pedestal outside, and then I can worry about insulating it. Hopefully, that will be all next week. And then after that, what we're going to be doing is taking our burners back apart, doing our final inspection of all the elements, reassembling them, and then we'll do our final test fire on these before we actually have them connected into the forge. So that's the plan going forward. That's where we're sitting. And we'll see you guys all on the other side. Chopping off this chunk of pipe here. It's a philosophy in the studio that I have here with Iron Wolf that we try to recycle as much material as we can. So this is an old chunk of pipe. I think it came from the old pulp mill nearby. So I'm going to take off this joiner section here, clean it up a bit, and then we'll weld that onto the bottom of our mounting plate, and then this will be what this segment will be what we're going to be using to mount it to the pedestal. So anyway, as always, safety gear. This is probably going to take a minute. It's going to be noisy, so see you guys on the other side of this. Okay. Again, I'm just letting the tool do the work. I'm just going to do a little rotation here. Always making sure that the piece is secure. here. And we should be pretty much through. And once we get this piece cut off, we'll clean it up using the sanders and the belt sander inside. That's our plate cut off, our piece cut off. Now we'll just do some sanding and some grinding and clean that up. On to the next. Sometimes we have to get a little bit creative with our solutions. I did not have another chunk of the same pipe that I had used on the previous pedestal mount for the old forge. So I had to weld in some spacers that will do the job. So quick solution, using a little bit of imagination and a little bit of scrap. So that's where we're sitting right now. We're just going to attach this now, clean it up, and we're going to attach it to the base of our pedestal mount. Okay then. Back inside. The end of another week. We've got our casing now with all the metal work pretty much done. A few little odds and ends to do. I need to get that bracket up here for the burners. A little bit of grinding, cleaning up. That's pretty much it. But pretty much does exactly what I wanted to do. I'm happy with it. So next week, I guess, we're going to be moving on to the insulation work, cutting our brick door pieces out, mounting them in place, getting those things done. So remember, if you like what you're seeing, don't forget, hit that thumbs up, please subscribe, and see you guys all on the other side. Stay safe.